All right, so the other day I posted the question on Twitter asking people like, what is a pair of sneakers that they wanted to try for the first time from a brand that they've never actually tried? And one comment caught my attention. It said that they were interested in trying out New Balance models, but they weren't sure which one. So I figured this is a good opportunity for me to do like a buyer's guide for beginners out there on New Balance. So I immediately asked him back, are you looking at the lifestyle or the running side of things? Because there's obviously lots and lots of differences between both of them. The lifestyle side usually has a lot more like cut and sew leather, like more like retro runner styles, but then they also have a lot of newer models as well that look like they may be a retro from, the 1990s, but it's actually a new model that they've created for the current year. And an example of that is the 991 V2. It's a new model, it's not a remake. However, there are other models like, the 990 V4, which is a pair that came in like the early 2000s. So I'll break down some of that for you guys in this video. Anyway, he replied back and said he was actually interested in both, but mainly lifestyle though, because they have always looked good to him and he's just never pulled the trigger. Something like the 9060 model, which is one that he's interested in. So big shout out to Darren for replying back on Twitter and really inspiring this video. So thank you. So first things first, this is not a sponsored video by New Balance. However, I do get a kickback if you guys actually gravitate towards any of the pairs I'm going to be showing you guys in this video. I'll put a link in the description of the video to take you to New Balance's website. And if you guys buy anything, I do get a little bit of a kickback, but it does let New Balance know that you support the channel. It directly supports myself and my family when you guys do that. I can't thank you guys enough for doing that. But I did want to start off on their website though, because from the very beginning, if you go to the men's section and shoes, it will show you like running side or lifestyle. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the lifestyle side of things. Now, it gives you a nice little breakdown here, to be honest, of a bunch of different models, but I have like information about each of these models, which is why I think it will be helpful for you guys. Now, again, beginner's guide for New Balance. There are a ton of New Balance models that have just numbers, and I know that that could be something that can be a little bit confusing. Some of them are models that they're trying to retro and like create buzz about them. Other ones are ones that have already had buzz about them that are still available on their website that have like more like longevity, I guess, if you will. So one that stands out to me that has been established in this space is the 550 model specifically. Now, it's not the most desired amongst the trendier people nowadays. However, the 550 is a really well-established model that is easily like identifiable for people that have been collecting and wearing New Balances. Primarily started with the ALD collaboration, and now they have a bunch of different versions on their website and a bunch of different colorways. And the price point is usually the reason why this is a fun one, because it's around $110. So not super cheap if you're looking for like a $40 or $50 pair, but $110, and you can get a couple different colorways out there. It looks like they've slimmed down their collection quite a bit. Another model that they've had a lot of success with is the one that he mentioned, which is the 9060. Now, this one actually surprised me a little bit because it is a very distinctive look comparison to a lot of the other models, which is maybe the reason why this one like has a lot of people gravitating towards it. The midsole is kind of chunky, and I like the look of it. The upper has a very sleek, nice design with a bunch of different cut and sew uppers and the prominent end on the side. But they have a dozen colorways available over on New Balance's website in this model, and the retail is $150 on them. So it is kind of in the more expensive category, not the top tier, but still in the like, I want to have a nice pair of New Balance. What should I get? This is one that I think a lot of people gravitate towards because it looks different, and they have some nice colorways. The quality is actually really nice as well. Some of the suedes and stuff are really nice on them, and overall they're really comfortable. And that's something else that I wanted to mention is the comfort overall for these lifestyle shoes. They're good. Like, it's like very comfortable. It's something you wear every single day. It doesn't have a lot of crazy soft squishy feel or anything like that underneath. It's like a standard issue pair that you can wear, tried and true, that you could wear every single day. Now, if you're interested in more of the running space, like the 1080 V14s or, the other things like the Rebel V4s, Fuel Cell and Fresh Foam X, those are like my forte. It's something I absolutely love. But those are like a lot softer and squishier. I'm a little bit older, so my joints definitely appreciate those type of shoes a lot more. If you're doing like activity walks and runs and stuff like that, obviously runs, but walks and like, going to Disney vacation shoes, those ones are like super, super good for comfort. And I will do like a beginner's guide to the New Balance running segment as well. If you guys have other beginner's guides to sneakers that you guys want to see, please leave a comment in the comment section. I have a little bit of knowledge. I'm not an expert, but I have a little bit of knowledge on quite a bit of different things. A jack of all trades, a master of none is what I tell my son. But anyways, back to the comfort. Overall comfort in the 9060s is very good. I would say it is one of the better out of the lifestyle segment. Moving on to another pair that has been very, very popular in the last handful of years, and that's the 2002 R. This model is around $145 now. It looks like they dropped the price a little bit. And this is a pretty standard pair that you'll see across the board in a lot of different shops nowadays as well. Made popular, in my opinion, by Slade Benberry because his 2002R was like one of the best that came out. But then New Balance came out directly with a protection pack that was like super, super good for a GR, a general release pair, one that didn't have a collaboration. It did phenomenally well, and it was just overall an excellent shoe. But anyway, 2002R, it's a generally accepted pair of sneakers as well. It's one that has had hype on some collaborations. They have a lot of different colorways available, and overall the comfort is really nice as well. Now you notice the midsole has the Absorb SBS on the heel, and that is a very prominent look on the 2002Rs, but it actually originally came from a different model. Like the 2002R is actually a retro pair, but the midsole actually came from the 860 V2, which they had some ALD collaborations, and it was around on New Balance's site for a little bit. But this is back to my point, like if you're a beginner and you're trying to buy New Balance, do you buy the 860 V2 that is no longer on the website, or do you buy the 2002R, which has 12 different colorways? I think that the average person just wants to get the pair that kind of fits in a little bit, and the 2002R has been that shoe. Another model that I wanted to mention that is definitely a classic, it's just one that has been around, tried and true, and that is the 574. This is kind of the iconic like New Balance shoe. Like if I think back to like the first New Balance shoe that I remember, it's the 574, the distinctive shape and the look. They've had a ton of different collaborations and different versions. I think the standard 574 is very easily recognizable. They also do have a bunch of different colorways available of the 574, which I do love to see that they still have them available out there. They do cost $90, so it's an under $100 pair of sneakers. It's the one to go to if you want something that's iconic looking and definitely kind of more of a standard vibe, as well as you have some decent materials and some nice colorways. The only downside is it's not as comfortable as like the 9060s or the 2002Rs in my opinion. But again, it's a staple, it's tried and true. So recap, 4 staples in my opinion: the 550, the 9060, the 2002R, and the 574. Now those are the baseline staples, and I cannot mention Lifestyle without mentioning the 990 series, which I will get to in just one second, because there's a ton of information on the 990s. In fact, I did a video comparing all of the different 990 models that we've seen and released. If you guys want to check out that video, I'll link it in the description of the video as well, because I think that one is pretty good, and it's a good like indicator of like which models came when for a lot of the 990 releases. But back to the Lifestyle side of things though, because right now there are the Lifestyle shoes that have been tried and true, the 4 staples that I just mentioned, but then there's newer models that they're trying to reinvent and bring back to us and then reinvigorate as well. So first we have the 1906, which I think personally is a great model. They have a bunch of different colorways. They have a bunch of different versions of the 1906 as well. So the midsole is the same as the 2002Rs, again, came from the 860 V2, but the upper is where this thing gets fun because you have a bunch of different versions. So my favorite one, the 1906A, I just did a video on these as well. They have exaggerated details and stuff. The overlays and stuff have exaggeration, which makes it look kind of like more like a utility pair. I don't know. Something about it is just really, really clever and smart. And they have 5 different colorways on that one now. They're comfortable also, but I think stylistically they're an A+. Personally, I like the 1906A better than even the 2002 Rs, which is like the staples, right? The downside is the price point is a little bit more expensive at $170. So expect to pay a little bit more. Again, this is the brand new one. This has been out for a couple months now. Next, you do have like the 1906Rs. The 1906R is kind of the bread and butter, and they're $155, and they have some really, really solid colorways, and it's definitely in line with a lot of the other mesh runner vibes. So if you like the ASICS mesh runners out there, the 1906R, in my opinion, is the best thing that's like apples to apples comparison to a lot of those things. But you know, New Balance has a long-standing history with mesh runners as well, so it's not like they're reinventing or trying to keep up with the things. They're just bringing back stuff in line with their product categories, and the 1906R is a great representation of that. Also, the other mesh runner model that is worth noting, in my opinion, is the 740. The 740 has a bunch of different colorways, unisex as well, which I do like, and Cam Brink is actually rocking quite a few pairs of these. She needs her own signature pair, honestly. She deserves it. But the 740 is pretty awesome. I got a pair, I got my wife a pair. They've had a couple collabs in this one as well, and they're pretty comfortable overall on feet. They're a little bit cheaper than the 1906Rs, and it is $110. So a pretty decent, affordable price point for the 740s, and again, a nice mesh runner with mesh and overlays. And the midsole, in my opinion, is not as comfortable. I do prefer the comfort of the 1906s, but still very comfortable for the price point. And very similar to that is actually an even cheaper pair at $99. Some of them are on sale for $75, but you have the 530. So this is why it gets a little bit confusing. So you have the 550 basketball shoe, leather, all leather upper, and then you have this 530 model, which is like a mesh runner at $100. So a difference in 20 digits makes it a completely different type of sneaker. I don't know the rhyme or reason why they name them the way they do, but the 530 is one that is a legacy model as well that they brought back, and they have some really clean standard colorways. Personally, I actually like the 530s better than the 740s, but I think that they're both really good offerings for those mesh runners. And then lastly, before we get into the 99Xs, you have the New Balance 1000. So this is another one that they're kind of bringing out there. It's like, I personally don't like the 1000 as much as I like the 9060s. They are 150 or so. They've had a couple collaborations, including Joe Freshgoods as well, which is the one that launched the 1000. But it's overall not a bad looking model, and they're comfortable as well. I do think that they are comfortable. Now, mentioning those models alone, which is the one I would recommend, in my opinion, it's personal taste and what you gravitate towards. And I think that that's the best part. It's you. You have a say in which one you like the best. Again, there's the 4 established ones already, the 550s, the 2002Rs, the 574s, and the 9060s. If you're looking for something a little bit more evergreen, something that's going to stick around longer and have, like, you know, in 5 years from now, people are going to go, oh, I know that model. Those are the 4 that I think are definitely going to do that. I'm not sure the sticking power of the 1000s. The 740s seem decent. The 530s have been around for a little while as well. But personally, like, out of all of those ones, I actually like the 1906 the best. It's closer to like the 2002Rs, but in my opinion, like more like a mesh runner vibe of it. And the 1906 I think looks phenomenal, but it is a little bit more expensive at that 170. But with that in mind, with the 170 price point, do you jump from the 170 to the 200? That's the big question. And in my opinion, yes, if you want to have something that has like lasting power. Like the 990 series, in my opinion, is one of the best series in footwear, just in general. Like, you have your Jordans, you have, you know, your Air Maxes. The 990 series is the caliber of like a pair of Jordans, or the caliber of a pair of Air Maxes. But even better, they have the ability to create new models of the products, which is something that like Jordan Brand can't do. Like Jordan Brand can create a new model, but it's all performance based. Like, all of them have been performance based up to the current day of like the 39s or whatever they're at. Back to the difference though, the 990 V6 is a newer model from the last couple of years. Like, it's new. Like, it has fuel cell in the midsole. It's a cut and sew upper. It looks like it could be a retro from 2000, but it's a new model. Jordan Brand can't create a retro like model that is not an original, because people hate it. Like, if you have a Spizike or something that has, like, you know, a midsole of a 3 and the upper of a 2, like, they don't vibe with any of the hybrids of Jordans. It has to be an original model, and they've done 10,000 colorways of all of these different models. So the limit is kind of set for them, unfortunately. But for New Balance, they have the 990 V7s that can be coming out, which is something that people will be gravitating towards after the 990 V6s. And then in 10 years from now, the 990 V60s can still be selling. Like right now, the 990 V4s is something that people really like, the 993s and the 992s that just was brought back with the Joe Freshgood collaboration, celebrating his 5-year relationship with New Balance, bringing back a model that's already established and popular. So again, the 990 series, there's a 990 V1, the 990 V2, a 990 V3, 990 V4, 990 V5, and a 990 V6. And I did a video comparing all of them already in the past. And those ones, by the way, are the made in the US versions. And then you have the made in the UK ones as well. So you have the 991 V1, then you have the 991 V2. You also have a bunch of different other models. I don't want to get into all of them, but you also do have a 992, a 993, and then you have a jump up to a 997 and a 998. Now, all of those other models that I mentioned are roughly $185 to $250 depending on the model. This is where it's interesting though, because in the 997, you get the 997R on New Balance's site for $99 right now. So it's kind of like the model that they've decided to make more widely available with a 99X in the name, but it's not made with the same like premium materials that the 99 1 V2s are, or something like that. It's made well, but it's definitely made more affordable for those people. So if you want an affordable pair of 99Xs, the 997 is like the more affordable option for sure. Hey guys, Editor Hess here. I wanted to give you guys a follow-up. So Made in the USA 997 was available recently at 190. The one that is actually the lower tiered model is the 997R, or previously it was like the 997H. So just pointing it out, they did have a cheaper version of the 997. They don't really have cheaper versions of other 99 models. I feel like there might be just a couple people still watching this video, and they're not the people that are newer to New Balance. They're probably the people that are just fact checking everything that I'm saying. And if you have more information or better information than what I'm giving, 100% leave a comment, let other people know any clarity that I may misspeak, because I'm just trying to, let other people know about the products and stuff that I've been learning about through the years. It's hard to take a deep dive into something and also break it down back to basics for those people that are new. So for those people that are new, leave a comment, let me know how I'm doing or not. If I need to go into more detail on something, please help me out, because this is something I want to start doing across the board for a lot of different intros to sneakers. And again, leave those comments if you have them in the comment section. The last thing I'll leave you with, which is the one I would recommend for the 99X series to people. Again, if you go type in 99X in New Balance's website, and again, I'll have a link in the description to 99X sneakers. There are so many available right now. You have so many awesome options. You have the 992 core colorways available. There's 4 different colorways in 992s. They are $200 though, so it's which one is the best for you. I will tell you those strategically, if you're just buying one, then the best bet is to buy like the gray colorways, because gray to New Balance is like black, red, and white to Jordans. The gray colorway is just the most standard and iconic one. However, if you like some of the other colorways, by all means go for them. It's a personal preference of whatever you like, not necessarily what I like. So if you like the black colorway the best, triple black, go for it, man. I think it looks good as well. Again, the 996 has a bunch of different colorways because that's more of their modern version of the US made 99X series. Also, another solid one is a 990 V4. Personally, I think for the price, if it's $15 less, this is a pretty solid option as well. My personal preference, and I know this doesn't help anybody else out if you're not wanting to spend as much money, because this is like the most expensive pair, but I really, really like the 991 V2. They have a ton of different colorways. They are $250, which is outrageous, but trust me, this could be your one shoe that you wear for the next 5 years. If that's the type of person you are, where you just want to have a daily that you can wear day in and day out, this is one that ages well, it wears well, it's comfortable, it gets more comfortable as you wear them. I think that they look phenomenal, and check out some of my reviews on the 991 or the 992. I also have a video comparing both of them. I really like the 991 V2 though. I think it looks fantastic. It does have fuel cell in the midsole as well, but stylistically, I like the midsole and just the upper design, the panels, the layout, everything I think is fantastic. The price point is just the tough part. If it was up to me, the 990 V6 or the 991 V2, it's 991 V2 for me. Just again, stylistically, even though it's UK versus US, the UK wins for me. But anyway, that's kind of a breakdown as quick as I could of all of the different models from New Balance 2025 right now, which is available to you guys. And as the year goes on, if they have new models that they're introducing to us, I'm going to be on it too. I'm going to try to let you guys know of all of the different options as well. But leave a comment, let me know which ones I missed. I know that there's like the 480 numerics I missed as well, which is a skate shoe, very comparable to like a Nike Dunk. Also another good one, but I kind of failed to mention it. But there's a lot of other models that we've seen, flash in the pan ones that have come and gone a little bit, but I'm sure we're going to get more models as well from New Balance. But hopefully this video was somewhat informative. If you guys like the video, drop a like on the video. If you guys want to buy any of the ones that I talked about, check out like more detailed reviews that I've done. Just type in whatever the name of the shoe and then heskicks in YouTube, and my video should be popping up for you guys on any of those subjects, the 991 V2s, the 550s, or whatever it might be. But if you guys use the links in the description, again, it supports the channel directly, and I appreciate y'all. Have a good rest of the day. Hopefully, again, you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you guys back for some more videos. All right, peace.